You know, I think I can smell it today. I'm not sure. But anyway, before you know it, the grill's going to be sizzling and full of our barbecue favorites. If you're anything like me, that means going to be plenty of bacon, sausage, pork chops,
hot dogs. But be ready to pay a pretty penny for all of that pork because it's going to cost you. That's because of something called porcine epidemic diarrhea. It's a virus that's killing millions of pigs and driving up pork prices. You may have already noticed you're paying more for pork. The thing is, we may not have even seen anything just yet.
PED is like the flu, but it doesn't hit people and you won't get sick from eating an affected animal. But it's been devastating to pigs, killing millions already, and blamed for raising pork prices almost 6% in January.
In the pigs, it's just like in humans. The older pigs will just have flu-like symptoms for a couple, 3 days, and then they'll be fine. The trouble in pigs, just like you saw the real little pig, if he gets it, he'll die of dehydration.
Bill Neal comes from a family of swine farmers and has seen things like this come and go. He expects eventually there will be a vaccine, but for now, he's trying to figure out how to handle things on the farm.
It's a big deal because you're hauling in all these pigs from all these different farms. They all commingle and touch each other and smell each other, and then if one of them has it, the rest of them's going to catch it.
So the pigs that get to the fair might have to go straight to market and faster in the food chain and restaurant chain.
Every 3 days or so we get a shipment.
At this barbecue restaurant, people waited 30 minutes for pulled pork takeout. Owner Elias Leisring says he's not raising the price on his $5 sandwiches.
We're a volume-driven business, so as long as we're busy, then, then things are doing what we need them to do.
And Neal says it will take a lot to raise the price on the famous pork sandwiches at the fair. But for this year, pork prices are on the rise as the PED virus spreads.
Any pig that is lost now, you won't see that shortage for another 6 months. But we're already seeing some shortage now because of the high feed costs resulting from the drought from a year and a half ago.
While the pork industry worries, consumers will start turning more to chicken. As for Neal?
No, there's nothing like pork.
Experts in Canada predict pork prices could rise by double digits come summer, and there's concern that that increase may very well trickle on down to us. Experts also say PED is expected to be contained by the fall, which in turn should get pork prices back to normal. In the meantime, you may get a break when you eat out. Restaurants that were slow because of a cold winter want customers to return and may be hesitant to jack up those pork prices.
I got to tell you, when it comes to bacon, I'd probably pay double anyway.
Would you?
I sure would not like it.
Don't take away your bacon.
But it's not just pork. It seems like everything is this cost is skyrocketing, doesn't it? Well, it turns out it is, and it's not just disease like PED that's to blame. And you can thank this wonderful winter weather that we've had, along with drought conditions in several other states. Basically, it's a chain reaction. Farmers are producing fewer crops, which turns into higher prices for farmers who have to feed their cows. Guess what that does to me and you, the consumer? Yep, higher milk prices, higher beef prices. As a matter of fact, the government predicts prices will rise 3.5% this year. That, though, may only be the beginning.
I think it's going to be a lot higher. Look at the weather. We've had terrible weather conditions throughout the entire world for the past few years, and that affects everything.
All right, let's take a closer look at these numbers. The price of beef jumped 4% in February. That is the most in 10 years. As for milk, prices are up more than 35% from December 2nd. That's about 2 times what we paid just in 2009. Some analysts believe milk prices will jump another 10% in the coming months. Now, hopefully, this is not going to be the new norm. A lot of analysts believe that the rise in these food prices is going to end soon as the weather starts to finally heat up.
All right. I don't know. Food prices aren't the only thing that can take a hit on your wallet. Your taxes can too, especially if you don't know what you're doing. We'll run down the list of the most costly tax errors.
Okay, imagine this. You go to file your taxes, but you find out somebody else already beat you to it. That's a scary thought, isn't it? And it's no mistake. Find out what's behind it.
Plus, scammers are getting doggone creative. In fact, they're getting away with other people's money using dogs. We'll explain. And while we're talking about money, we've teamed up with Sussex County Federal Credit Union to help you make better sense of your money. Here's this week's tip.
On behalf of Sussex County Federal Credit Union, I'm Lindsay Coverdale with this week's Dollars and Cents tip. Individual retirement accounts, also known as IRAs, allow you to shelter your assets' earnings from taxation. So the more money you can contribute to an IRA, the better. And the younger you are when you start contributing, the better off you will be. With tax time quickly approaching, qualified participants should consider taking advantage of IRA catch-up contributions that will allow additional deposits to your IRA, when ideally you are at the peak of your earning power. On the other hand, those receiving payments from an IRA are subject to federal income tax withholding, unless you elect no withholding. But keep in mind, your withholding election does not affect the amount of income tax you pay. You may still incur penalties under the estimated tax rules if your withholding and estimated tax payments are insufficient. Visit the Retirement Central page on SussexCFCU.com for additional resources and tools. Together, we can achieve more.